he really wanted it to be a place for where education and this quest for knowledge could thrive. And like I'd said before, that is what has happened. And here's what's really interesting is his vision at the time. This is in the early 20th century. There were very few museums that were like that at the time. It's got a rich and interesting history, and what they're doing at the museum now is very, very close to what Alonzo had laid out years ago. One of the reasons I do the films that I do is because I grew up here, and I'm proud of this community. There's many communities had carousels that have been become, were torn down. We have 6 that remain pristine and in operation, which is really remarkable. We also have a lot of beautiful parks. We also have a lot of beautiful buildings like the Roberson Mansion that continues to thrive. We have lots of historic landmarks that generations of people have worked really hard to make sure that they continue to thrive. And Roberson is one of those places. I think that the more you know about a community, the more you feel like you have a vested interest and ownership of it. That's one of the things that I try to do in my films, is try to just teach people a little bit about what we have in this part of the country. It doesn't always come easy, but it takes work. And Roberson is one of those places that has taken a lot of work, but people should be incredibly proud of what it has been and what it can continue to be. Something that's important to point out is that there were times when the funding was there and there was times when the funding wasn't. And so these executive directors have had to kind of make some tough decisions sometimes. And I'm not saying that they were always the right decision, but I believe that I would think that most of them, certainly the current administration, has been making wonderful decisions that are true to what Alonzo Roberson wanted the mansion and the museum to be. And that comes from having a respect for the original intent and knowing, and I know that the folks who work at the museum now know the history really well, and they know the background of what Alonzo and his wife wanted to do. And that's something that's really special. I think it's important for people to understand that there are really, really good, dedicated people working behind the scenes at Roberson to make it work, and make it work for people's families, and be a kind of really a jewel for this community. The museum has always been able to adapt to the community's needs, and I think that that's something that they keep in mind all the time, is always trying to evolve. And I'm certain that that's what they're trying to do with this capital campaign, is make sure that they are investing funds in places that they know that the community is going to need and want.